Yeah, the Christian music guys. Make some noise for the Christian music guys.
We are excited to welcome Rachel DeLong, a New England-based singer-songwriter, CCM artist, and worship leader whose faith-filled music speaks to identity and purpose in today's world. Her latest single, Dopamine, is out now, adding to a growing catalog shaped by her heart for worship and storytelling. Rachel has already shared the stage with artists like Riley Clemmons, Mike Donehey, Jason Gray, and Rhett Walker. Welcome to the show, Rachel. Thanks
Thank you so
coming
much,
on with us.
Jacob. I'm so happy that you guys are having me.
Yeah. So you are from the New England area. I don't know how long you lived in New England, but what's some good food that you enjoy there? You like a good lobster or
Clam chowder?
Clam
Like
chowder?
a good chowder is amazing. But also, yeah, lobster. My dad's from Maine, which is like our family reunions were us just going to my grandmother's lake house and having like an entire table filled with lobster and eating it. So
Nice.
This is like actual. So you don't just say clam chowder because you have to because you're from New England. That's like a real answer, right?
that is my real answer is clam chowder. Yeah.
Okay. So because like being from Kentucky, people think that so once a year, everybody from Kentucky pretends that they know everything about horse racing because we have the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And the truth is, like maybe 1% of people know anything about horse racing. So I just didn't know if it was the same thing in New England that you just kind of have to say clam chowder.
Well, it depends, but there's a lot of like similar to like Texas pride in the state that you're coming from. New England has a lot
Yeah.
of that in their independence and seafood.
Okay. Whereabouts in New England are you from?
I'm from like in between New Hampshire and Massachusetts. Like it's
Okay.
in a little town near Nashua. And I grew up there, spent all my years there until I went off to college at 18. And now I'm going to Baylor in Texas. So that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome. That is my favorite town in the entire state of Texas. I lived in San Antonio for a while, and my favorite city is Waco. So I love that area.
Wacko Waco. Love it
Yeah,
here.
that's it. So Rachel, for those of our listeners and viewers that aren't familiar with you, would you take a second, just introduce yourself to them and let them know a little bit about yourself and how you got started as an artist?
Yeah, so hi guys. I'm so happy to be here. And my name is Rachel DeLong, and I started touring at 13 years old. So I found God put a lot of songs on my heart to just kind of figure out my way around the world. It was a way for me to process my feelings and kind of what it was like growing up and different things that I was going through at the time. But as I got older, and we can talk more about my testimony later, but as I got older and I went through some traumas in my life, I kind of got faced with a lot of why God questions. And that kind of made my faith become more of my own. And then it started coming through in my music when I was questioning like my own values and like what I believe. And now God has opened so many doors. I have an album coming out. I I just released a song a couple weeks ago, and I'm about to release another one in 2 weeks, which is exciting. And yeah, God's just put it on my heart to talk to young girls about like identity and value and finding your
Mm.
worth in God, because that's something that I've had to figure out in my own life and that I can speak to because of my own experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a dad of 3 girls, thank you for being obedient and doing that. I'm always so grateful when, especially my almost teenage girl comes to me and she's like, "Hey, I was listening to this person on YouTube talk about their testimony," and I always love that. So thanks for doing that.
Of course.
And then a question: when did you know you liked singing? Do you come from a musical family, have a musical background? Are you kind of the first one in your family to branch out and
I
become a
thought I
musician?
was. I thought I was
Hmm.
special, but then I learned that like my mom's entire like my grandfather, I didn't know this for a while, but he is like he was touring at the same age basically that I was.
Oh
So all
wow.
throughout like his like high school and college, he was touring with a band, and like just I think it really was in my blood. A lot of my mom sings, my dad plays the drums. He's an engineer, so he's very like methodical about music, and my mom's
Hmm.
very emotional about music. I feel like there's two different types of musicians. Um, but yeah, no, I think I found it from my grandfather and like my mom singing in my ear all the time.
Yeah, so you have a new single, Dopamine, out, and we really like it. You
Oh,
actually, I
thank
think you
you.
messaged us a few weeks ago about it, but I was like, yeah, we have been following you for a while and enjoy your stuff, enjoy your music. But do you mind telling us the heart behind this song and what inspired it?
Yeah, so I have ADHD, and that's something that's kind of made me feel a little bit like I've stood out in different ways growing up. Like I'm always the first one to initiate conversation, to raise my hand in class, to talk when nobody else is talking. It just kind of happens and it's an instinct, as well as easily distractible. And that's just something that made schoolwork hard. It made some social stuff hard. But as I grew up, I kind of learned more and more that that's the way that God designed me. And people have pointed out that it makes me more entertaining on stage. They don't know what's going to come out of my mouth next, but
Yeah.
but like that it's a part of how God designed me, especially as a creative. And so that song dopamine, so the thing is when you have ADHD, the way that you process dopamine is different, so you're kind of chasing that dopamine high, like you prioritize dopamine over other like priorities like work or
Hmm.
school, and you kind of have to learn how to like counteract that. But also a big part of where the song came from is that like I've grown up in New England, where like across what was it, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, only 2% of each of those states profess to be like faith believing.
Mm.
Whereas like where I'm at now in Texas, it's 88% profess
Yeah.
to be
Mm.
Christians. And so I just had a very difficult time because I was doing Christian music at a young age, and God God threw me into the lion's den when it came to like people around me, questions I was being asked, and just intense bullying growing up. But definitely like I had people question me a lot saying, "You just like singing and leading worship because the dopamine release of people around you singing the same thing, of the crowd,
Mm.
or the way that community makes you feel." Like, and they just kept telling me that God was all in my head, and that's not true at all. God God shows up and orchestrates things, and he's there not just when the quote unquote dopamine hits.
Sure.
And so that's a
Yeah.
big part of the song.
Yeah. That's good.
So our friend, actually, yeah, our friend Luke Bauer has a song called "Dopamine and Jesus." Is he
Oh
trying
yeah.
to one up you on that one?
Hey, he can one up me. That's okay. I love good music. He sounds great. No.
Yeah, yeah,
He
Luke's a good guy.
he was at Baylor for a bit too, I
I was
think.
gonna say he's a Texas guy.
Yeah, he definitely is a Texas guy. One time he played a venue near here, and like we chatted a bit, but he sounds great. No, he can one up me anytime.
There's also this. No, I'm just joking.
Strings and Heart does a dopamine song. Dopamine's a great
Oh, do
topic.
they?
It
Okay.
is. It is.
So you had mentioned earlier growing up, but who are some of those musical influences that you listen to and still currently listen to?
Yeah, I would say growing up, I was definitely a Francesca Battistelli girl. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
got a
man,
couple dents in my fender. Like that
there
song
you
was my
go.
Yeah,
jam.
there you
There
go.
Uh,
you go.
I really loved Unspoken, which was insane.
Mm.
I recently got to like open for them, and it just like the little 13-year-old girl who learned how to play the guitar so that she could learn how to play Start a Fire by Unspoken was like jumping
Yeah.
up and down internally. Um, but I also love like some secular bands like Guns N' Roses. My dad would always play. Red Hot Chili Peppers has some amazing bass lines. Like I'm kind of very eclectic when it comes to the music that grew me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, tell us then, because I mean, I'm assuming, so you have an album coming out in May,
Mhm.
Confessions of a Church Kid. Tell us a little
Yes,
bit about
sir.
that album, and I would imagine that all of these people you're mentioning played some role and inspiration behind the sound that you have.
Yeah. So Confessions of a Church Kid. I am so excited. I've always been an open book, and I've been through a lot in my life, from like, assaults to bullying to a bunch of horrible things, but I have seen God bring all of that to light and use it for good. And so the reason why I'm calling it Confessions of a Church Kid is because I'm not going to be hiding the fact that I've dealt with mental health. I'm not going to be hiding behind the idea of it being perfect now, because it's not perfect now. And so I like it to be like, here I am confessing all these wrongs that I've done, that have been done to me, but I can find my identity in Christ. I can find my identity in being God's daughter. And so that's like a huge part behind it. And I kind of just identify as a church kid a little bit, like, since that's how I grew up. And sometimes you learn how to say the right things, or which sins you shouldn't, quote unquote, admit in church, or different things like that. And like, I just wanted to be like, okay, this is like a all cards on the table type album.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And sound wise, we have so much fun stuff going on. We have very pop leaning stuff, we have very rock leaning stuff, somewhere in the middle. I wrote some of the songs with a guy who used to be in Paramore, who now writes a ton of amazing worship music.
Oh,
And so we
awesome.
have like a ton of vibes with that. Jordan Sapp, if you know of him, he produced a lot of them, and he's just so talented. So I'm so excited for finally dropping it.
Yeah. That's
What's
awesome.
your do you play any instruments?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
what's
play
your
guitar.
go-to?
I play guitar. When I started performing, I realized very quickly that it's hard to carry a piano around to each show, and that was hard for me to lug, especially like as a young girl. So I started learning the guitar, and that's been kind of like my instrument that I write on and that I play.
Awesome. So, what's the writing process typically look for like for you? Are you someone who you have the notes app on your phone and you're just constantly like that person, or are you coming up with the kind of mess around the guitar and then adding things to it? What does that look like for you typically?
It depends on where I am. So like I sometimes do
Mm-hmm.
like songwriting trips to Nashville that are so fun. You get to collaborate with other like Jesus-centered musicians, which is just so fun. But I also write a lot by myself. And I'm the person who, like, what they quote unquote call a top liner. I'm very much into the lyrics of stuff, like the nitty-gritty lyrics. And for me, the melody can come afterwards if the meat and potatoes of the lyrics are there. And so I love just like word vomiting onto a page, and then I'll be like, oh, that line sounds like it's saying something interesting. Let's keep with that. And then keep word vomiting and then find something else. Sorry, I'm not phrasing this quite pleasantly, but it's
No, we get it.
it's
Making
really
total
fun.
sense.
And when I'm at home, like by myself and writing, most of the time I take like it's more of like a private time between me and God, and that's where some of like the more heartfelt songs come out. Um, because it's more so me bringing like something that I'm struggling with to him, or like emotionally still trying to process, and like kind of asking him like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Because then the song that I write out of that will be something that's actually like means something to me and is reminding me of something that I need to hear. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Rachel, we always let our listeners know who's kind of coming up on the program, and we give them a chance to ask a question
Mhm.
to their favorite artist. And so, one of your fans from Los Angeles, named Macy, actually wanted us to ask you if you'd be willing to share with her the story behind your song "Clarity."
Yeah, that's so sweet. Hi, Macy, if you're seeing this. Uh, so my song Clarity was definitely about me dealing with overthinking. Um, and sometimes when you sit down to pray, like a ton of thoughts are coming into your mind. Some of them are your own, some of them are from God, some of them are even from the devil. Like you're trying to sift through this and say, God, I want to hear your still small voice. And so the it was about anxiety and overthinking is like kind of like the first verse and the basis, but it's saying just to cry out, God, I need to hear your voice over everything. Like I'm confused. I don't want to live my way or I don't want to make my own decision. I want to make the decision that you have for me. That's what clarity is about.
Man, that's I needed that when I was taking chemistry. Coming from chemistry class, so I could use some clarity.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, and thanks, Macy, for writing us and asking that question. Well, Rachel, it's we would like to do with you something we do with all of our first time guests. Our listeners really enjoy this. It kind of gives them a chance to get to know you, kind of outside of talking about music and
Okay.
albums and stuff. But it's favorite things, and so
Ooh,
if you'd be up for it, we'd like to list a category, and then you let us know what your favorite thing in that category is.
perfect.
And there are wrong answers, and we will let you know if you get one wrong.
Okay, then I might need to hear some of y'all's answers too.
All right. Do you have a favorite food?
Does a chai latte count? No. I would say chicken
I
korma.
actually love chai. I love chai lattes.
Thank you. They're so good. My fiance
they're,
says that they're Christmas in a cup.
they're so good.
That's
Yep.
true.
But
Very
no,
true.
I would say chicken korma. It's like an Indian dish that I love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good. Do you have a favorite movie?
Ooh. Oh no. This is so hard to actually. Oh, the new Superman was actually really entertaining. I really
Hmm.
liked the new Superman and how they redid it. That it felt more like a Guardians of the Galaxy type music movie for DC, which
Yeah.
is unlike them. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good
I've
one.
not seen it. I've not seen it yet.
You should. It has Punk Rocker as the song in the background, and that is like such an iconic song.
Oh yeah, that's
Well, and they
fun.
go back to the comics, with the dog and. So.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
my brothers are like my entire family is kind of a bunch of nerds, and so they always had my older brothers had the comics lying around a lot, and I wanted to figure out ways to connect with them. So I ended up becoming a comic buff. So it's
Nice.
fun when the movies actually relate.
Well, I think it was directed by James Gunn, and he's the one who did Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's probably why it feels like that.
That's what I thought. It didn't feel as dark as some of the other ones.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for
I think
DC.
they brought him over. Yeah, they brought him over from Marvel. So, so I mean, actually, I would like to see it. Do you have a favorite show that you enjoy to binge watch?
Ooh. Recently I've been loving Abbott Elementary. It is very
Okay.
funny. And my mom is a teacher for middle school, and so I'll just like call her and I'll be like, "Hey mom, do kids actually do this?" And she'll be like, "Yeah."
Yes, that's a thing. Like that's a real thing.
Oh man.
Do you have a favorite musical artist?
Jervis Campbell. Have you heard of her?
I feel like I have.
You
Was it
need to.
Jervis?
Yeah, Jervis, like Jarvis from Iron Man, since we're talking Marvel, but like with an E. He is so good, and like I've been to like 3 of his concerts. He's like he does folk, but his tone is so rich. Like his timbre is incredible.
He looks like Josh Baldwin.
He does. It's Christian music, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I'll have to check him out now. He's actually going to be in a show not right down the road from us. So.
You should check it out.
Worth looking into.
He's like I love seeing the very polished shows, the polished done up shows, but I also love seeing like the ones that feel indie and feel very down to earth and real. And his shows
Yeah.
feel very down to earth and real. And
Mm,
I love that.
yeah. Do you have a dream collab?
Ooh. Let me think. I have a ton of dream collabs, honestly. But I would say I went on tour with Jamie McDonald as like
Mm,
one of the openers for her and Seth Schleter. And Jamie was just one of the sweetest people. And like even to this day, she sends me the kindest texts and comments and stuff. And like I would just love to do a collab with her just because I think that she is such a sweet soul, let alone how talented she is.
I'll just text her and
I
ask her.
know. I'm now that you asked me that, I'm actually thinking maybe I should. Or Strings and Heart. I love like seeing honestly, like I love seeing like a bunch of like young creators like
Yeah.
doing Christian music. I think that's so fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Do you have a favorite ice cream flavor?
Heath Bar. Do you know Heath Bar? It's like a
Oh,
caramel.
Heath, I thought you, okay, yes. I thought you said beef bar.
That would be insane.
I was like,
If
no,
I
I've never
said
heard
Beef
of that
Bar,
one.
that would have been a wrong answer. You could have called me out on
That
that one.
that would have been a wrong answer. Absolutely.
That's funny.
Absolutely. Heath bar. Now who made, is it just like any brand, or do you have like a go-to brand?
No, Heath Bar is like it's like if you said that you had like an M&M ice cream.
Yeah.
Heath Bar
Mhm.
is like a type of chocolate bar made by
Yeah,
I think
but
Hershey.
is the ice cream made by like blue what is it? I don't know,
Bluebell or
the
like
ice
stuff
cream
like
brand.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bluebell. Because or like Kroger brand or something like that. Is
Okay,
it
Andy's nearby. Andy's makes a mean like vanilla. It's called a concrete vanilla concrete with Heath
Oh yeah.
Bar or Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I love Andy's. We just went a couple months ago. I love that place.
I wish I could say I just went a couple months ago. It's been way too many times.
Yeah. We don't have any near us, so I can only go when we're traveling and there happens to be one in the area.
Do you have a favorite podcast?
Ooh, so I am a worship leader at Harris Creek, and they have this. I've been for my entire college career, so going on 4 years, and they have this podcast for young adults called Becoming Something. It's
Mm,
just like they talk about some really cool stuff. They have some really cool guest speakers, but my pastor is like unafraid to call out like current societal like questioning of different things or like beliefs. He's very good at staying doctrinally sound. I appreciate how that comes through on the podcast.
yeah, that's good. Well, you passed, so congrats.
Woo.
Everything except for the beef bar ice cream. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, it's okay. I am known. So we talked with Tommy Prophet a few weeks ago, and
Mhm.
Tommy likes to he likes to try any brand that comes out with a weird flavor or any kind of flavor. He likes to try it, like any new Reese's or just anything, like in weird stuff, nasty stuff. Well, I'm the same way. Like if there's anything new, I want to try it. And a year ago, my brother still teased me about it, but they had a ranch flavored ice cream, and I wanted to
Ooh,
try it, and it was disgusting. I didn't even
yeah,
get through one bite. It's disgusting.
that sounds so
And then
gross.
last week on the pod, I tried live. It was KFC flavored jelly beans, and that was disgusting too. Very wrong. So,
You guys should do the jelly bean challenge if you're gonna do that.
yeah, that's gross. Yeah, I don't like those jelly beans.
No.
Well, Rachel, what is next for you, and how can our viewers and listeners keep up with you? And we know you got the album coming.
I am actually dropping another single from the album coming up in 11 days. And March 13th, if that's the Friday. Sorry, I'm just trying to count in my head. No, I am so excited. It's a song called Holy Ghosted, which is kind of silly, but like it knows it's silly, and that's the purpose of it. If that makes
Mm,
sense, you'll understand when you hear it. But it's basically about like, remember that trend a while ago where it was like I went to coffee with my younger self, and like I would tell
mm,
them this and this. So I wrote it around
yes.
that time, and it's basically I went to coffee with my old self, like myself of the flesh, and
Mm,
like it's kind of like they didn't show up, they ghosted me because now I remind them of the Holy Spirit because
Mm.
he lives inside me. And so it's that, and it's fun, it's silly, but it's also like talking a lot again about identity. And
yeah.
I had so much fun making that song. I,
Mm,
I was in the studio with Wade Renrick. He did the production stuff, and he now has a whole folder which he like donned embarrassing sounds from Rachel while recording this. And there's a lot of like me talking in the background or little stuff like that. We were just having so much fun recording it, and now he has like so much blackmail on me in that folder.
He might be ghosted
yeah.
if he keeps that for too long.
That's so real. But no, I'm releasing one song in like 2 weeks, and then like a month or so later, I'm releasing the last single before the album drops. So
Okay.
we're just building up.
Nice. Yeah.
And the album is May 29th, correct?
On May 28th, or maybe that's the
May.
night that it drops. Yeah, May 29th.
Okay, okay. Don't May 28th/29th. You should be up late on the 28th so that way you can hit download on the 29th, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I mean,
And a couple
May
weeks
28th
later,
is.
oh, what were you saying?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say a couple weeks later, I'll be having a album release party in Nashville if people want to come.
Nice. Now, I was going to
Awesome.
say, if it was released the 28th, then that would be on Jesse's birthday. So, but
Ooh.
be on the 29th.
It's true. Do you have a website for people to go to, or did you say that already? Did I miss that?
Oh, yeah, I do. It's Rachel DeLong Music, DE. If you just type that in, it'll show up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, what about some Rachel Christmas
go ahead.
music? Christmas music. I know it's March, but I mean, you got to start thinking ahead.
I do gotta start thinking about Christmas music. I will say, I think mentally I'm only focused on this album right now, but there is
Right.
stuff in the works of coming later. So
There you go.
Maybe a Christmas song with Jamie McDonald.
that would be sweet.
Well, Rachel, to wrap up, we'd like to see if you'd be willing to share something that God's been doing in your life recently that would help encourage and build up our listeners' and viewers' faith.
Yeah. I would say that, like, something that stood out to me, like, throughout my story, throughout my life, has been, like, when Hagar titles God the God who sees me. That verse, I think it's like Genesis 16:14, Genesis 14:16, one of the two. And that verse has really helped me because, like, since I've dealt with mental health and like depression and anxiety, the biggest lie that depression tells you is that you're alone. And that verse just kind of reminds me that God sees me. And that's what I would say to any young girl or young guy that's out there and listening, or any person of any age, to be honest, that God sees you. He sees you in the place that you're in. You're not alone in that. And that you can get comfort in Him in resolution. I'd say that's really what He's reminding me of now, too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good. Well, Rachel, thank you for chatting with us. Confessions of a Church Kid, your album drops May 29th. Single Dopamine is out now, and you're dropping a few more coming before the album. Will this album be on vinyl? Because that's our favorite.
Okay, I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to see if there's enough interest in vinyl. for
Okay.
me to purchase some because I also am a college student, but I also think they're really
Yes.
cool. So it's sorry, I'm not PR trained. Uh, it's so I'll let you know if I do end up choosing to order some vinyl because I would love to.
They're the Christian music guys. Yeah, the Christian music guys.